This video is on rounding numbers. Okay, so here are the steps for rounding numbers. Underline the place value you are rounding to. Look to the place value on the right of the underlined number. If the number is 5 or more, you add 1 to the underlined number. And if the number is 4 or less, you don't change the underlined number. So before we actually round numbers, let's go through the place values because many students often get these wrong. The 9, the first number to the left of the decimal, is the ones column. Then we have tens column. Hundreds, that's 700 right here. Thousand. Then we have 10,000, 100,000. If you put the commas here, then we have millions. $10 million and $100 million. Now, that's to the left of the decimal. To the right of the decimal, people often get these wrong. So the first place value to the right of the decimal is the tenths. It's TENTHS, the tenths. Do you see how tens is on the left-hand side of the decimal, but tenths with the THS, that's on the right-hand side of the decimal. Then we have hundredths. You just spell hundred with a THS. Hundredths. Thousand with a THS. Thousandths. It's really hard to say. Then we have 10,000ths, 100,000ths, and million. Million with a THS. Millions. So tenths, hundredths, thousands, 10,000ths, 100,000ths, and millionths with the THS. So to the right of the decimal, we have the THSs. To the left of the decimal, we just have the place values. We always start with the ones, tens, hundreds. On the right, there are no ones. We always start with the tenths. Okay, now that we have those down, let's round a few numbers using the above steps. So here we're going to round to the hundredths. At the THS, that means the hundredth is to the right of the decimal. Tenth, hundredth. Step number 1 is underline the place value we're rounding to. 2 is in the hundredths place value. Look to the right. The next step is look to the right. If you have 5 or more, I do have 5 or more, you add 1 to the underlying number. So I have 2 plus 1. I'm going to add this up. I have 3. Everything to the left, I'm just going to bring down. Everything to the left comes on down. Everything to the right gets crossed off. We don't use it anymore. To the right of the decimal number rounding, you just cross it off and don't use it. To the left, you bring down. So 1.0254 rounded to the hundredths is 1.03. 1.025 rounded to the 1.0254 rounded to the tenths. This is the tenths place value. If I look to the right, it's less than 4. That means I do not change the underlying number. It stays as 0. Everything to the left comes on down. Everything to the right of the underlying number, since it's to the right of the decimal, just gets cut off. And my answer is 1.0. Round it to the tenths. Okay, now we're going to round to the hundredths. Do you see there's no THS, so we're rounding to the hundredths. So the decimal would normally be right here by the 5. The hundredths place value is right here. Ones, tens, 100. Look to the right. So looking to the right, 5 or less, you don't change the underlying number. The underlying number stays as 2. Everything else comes down. The 1, the 2, the 3, and the 5. Now, when we had it to the right of the decimal, everything just gets cut off. But we just can't write this because the number is millions. Everything here has to change to 0. So everything to the right of the decimal has to change to 0 when we're rounding in the spots to the left of the decimal. So here you don't cut it off because then it would look like it's only 1,000 when the number is really 1,000,000. So you change everything to a 0. Let's try this. Rounded to the 10,000th. 5 is the thousandth. 3 is the 10,000th. So we underline the 10,000th place. Look to the right. It's 5 or more, so we add 1 to the underlined number. 3 plus 1 is 4. Everything to the left we bring down. The 1, the comma, the 2. Everything to the right, since it's to the left of the decimal, just gets changed to 0. Comma 0, 0, 0, and this number is 1,240,000, rounded to the 10,000th place. I hope this video helped you with your rounding